Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute since we've talked about shooting film, but I've got some exciting updates and thoughts to share with you today. Even though I haven't posted much film content lately, I've actually been shooting more film this year than I have in the past 2 years combined. But most of that has been personal though. Yeah, let's get this out. Alright, do you remember this little gem? This is the Konica Gemba Kontaku 28 that I picked up in this bizarre camera shop in Bangkok a few months ago. Maybe you've seen the video. It was steel. I think I paid around 10 euros or something. I handed it to a friend during Songkran, Thailand's water festival, and it survived all the water splashes without any hitch. I even took it into the ocean during a torrential downpour to snap some photos. And guess what? It still works perfectly. During that trip, I used it more than my Leica M6. I think the ease of use and the built-in flash really make it stand out to me. But like I said, most of my film shootings has been for personal reasons. So why haven't I been using film as much for street photography? Well, there are a few reasons. Some obvious ones, some not so much. But let me break it down for you. First up, and that should not be any surprise, is the cost of film. Prices have shot up significantly over the past few years. If you're into street photography like me, you know how quickly you can burn through a roll. It's not hard to get through 5 rolls in a day, and that adds up fast. I think a lot of you can probably relate to that. The cost can be a real barrier. Let's talk about the experience of shooting film. There's something magical about it, right? The tactile feel of loading a roll, the anticipation of waiting for your shots to be developed. But the reality is, it's getting pricier, and for street photography, where you want to shoot a lot, it's not always practical. Reason number 2 is all about traveling light. When I'm out and about, I like to bring only what I need. My Leica Q3 and the camera for filming are pretty much essentials, but lugging around multiple film cameras and dozens of rolls of film, that becomes a hassle, especially when I'm mainly using my digital camera. So I usually just bring one film camera for personal stuff. This brings me right to another decision I've made, focusing solely on 35mm and saying goodbye to 120. Medium format is fantastic, but it's just not practical for my current needs. So I've decided to part ways with my beloved Fuji GF670. This camera has been a joy to use. It's modern, easy to shoot with, and the top plate looks like a modern Fuji digital camera. I got it for a really good price, and I'm sticking to my promise to the previous owner by selling it for the same amount. Instead of listing it on eBay, I want one of you to have it. If you're interested, send me an email or message me on Instagram. I also have a bunch of 120 film up for grabs, so let me know if you're interested in that too. Efficiency is another big reason. When I'm out shooting street photography, I need to be quick and efficient. This is where digital really shines. It's not just about shooting in burst mode, but about working the scene and capturing the moment as it unfolds. Things change so fast in the streets, and being efficient with my gear is crucial. For portraits though, I still prefer the deliberateness of film. Street photography is all about capturing those fleeting moments. You need to be ready for anything, and sometimes film just can't keep up with the pace. That's not to say that film doesn't have its place. It absolutely does. But for the kind of street photography I do, digital offers a level of convenience and speed that's hard to beat. And let's not forget about the workflow. Shooting digital means I can review my shots immediately, make adjustments on the fly, and ensure I'm getting the results that I want. With film, there's always that element of surprise, which can be good. But it doesn't always fit the fast-paced nature of street photography. Now, and that is important here, don't get me wrong, I still love film and I will still shoot it for personal projects and more deliberate, thoughtful photography. There's something about the process and the look that film delivers that digital just can't replicate. But for my day-to-day street photography, digital is where it's at, especially when shooting flash. So what's next on my film journey? Well, I'm going to continue focusing on 35mm for personal work. And who knows, maybe I'll explore some new film stocks or techniques and share those experiences with you. The beauty of photography is that it's always evolving and there's always something new to learn and try. If you're wondering about this cool film case here, it got sent to me by a company, I mean you can see the name, Xpanalog. And the interesting part is that the location where they are at is pretty interesting because it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's Pico Island. It's part of the Azores and they belong to Portugal. So we're pretty much everywhere, even in the middle of nowhere. And they also sell film, so if you ever go to the Azores and you need film, you can buy it there. So what I like about this case is, unlike other cases where the lid comes off easily, on this one it doesn't. It's held in place by magnets, which is pretty cool. So yeah, holds 3 rolls of 35mm. They also have, I think they also have this for 120. Really cool case. So thanks Xpanalog for sending this over. Another thing I've noticed is consistency in my work. When I went through my street photography catalog from, let's say, the last 8 to 10 years, I saw that it was a bit all over the place. A lot of my favorite shots were taken with various cameras, both film and digital. But the work that really stands out is what I've done with the Leica Q and the Leica Q3. For long-term projects, I prefer to have a body of work that was shot with the same gear because it ties everything really nicely together. A few years ago, I visited a Steve McCurry exhibition. There were 2 specific prints hanging next to each other on a wall. One was shot on film and the other one most likely on a digital camera. They looked very different, but they were nice, don't get me wrong. But personally, I want consistency in a specific body of work. Having a mix of film and digital shots in a project can disrupt that consistency. I've done projects in the past where I specifically chose film, like in my street photography zines. And I might do that again in the future. But for fast-paced street photography, it makes more sense to focus on using my Leica Q3 or whatever Leica Q version is up next. This way I can maintain that consistency and efficiency and still enjoy the unique qualities of film for more deliberate projects. Okay guys, thanks for sticking around and listening to my thoughts on shooting film. I hope this at least gives you some insights into why I've been shooting less film for street photography lately. If you're interested in this Fuji GF670 or some 120 film, don't hesitate and reach out. See you on the next one. Until then, auf Wiedersehen.